and welcome back to Little Digital Learners. Today I'm going to go over some of the awesome updates that Seesaw rolled out earlier this month. I was so eager to hop on and make a video going over all of the updates, but I kind of put it off because I wanted to play around with them first and see in more detail what tips and tricks I could provide for you. So instead of doing an overall snapshot video of all of the updates, free and paid version, I'm going to do a video series going in depth with each one of those update features. If you want a snapshot of all of the updates, you can go ahead over to Seesaw's YouTube page, and they have video going over those specific updates. You may hear my little girl in the background playing around. We're trying to mom and work at the same time. So thank you for being patient. All right, so I am going to go in depth with my favorite update so far, and that is the ability to embed links directly in Seesaw. So this has two benefits. One, you can go ahead and make choice board activities linking children out to external links by hyperlinking images or providing buttons for them to get out to watch videos or read alouds. That's available to both paid and free customers. Multiple links per activities per pages. That's an absolute game changer. Now, my personal favorite part about the embedded links is a paid feature, but hopefully a lot of schools are moving towards Seesaw for Schools. If they aren't, this is a good reason to do so. So the paid feature with embedded links, you can do the outsource or external links directly in Seesaw. Now you don't have to work with Google Slides or anything like that, but you can also link internally, which means that you can link within different pages of an activity. So for my students, I have them do a word work, choice board, or center activity throughout the week. So for example, there's 5 activities and there's 5 days in the week. They get to choose which activities they do each day, but by Friday, it's expected that they've completed all activities. So I'm going to go through and show you how my students interact with this and why it's beneficial, and then I'm going to show you how I created it, some issues I ran into, and how to troubleshoot them. Now, these are newer updates, so you will find that not everything's going to be perfect, but with some creative tricks, you can work around some of the issues. All right, so let's go. This is the student viewpoint. You can see this image right here, which I refer to as my cover page or my title page. And I'm going to go to add response. And this is what the students are first going to see when they open it up. I am working on a desktop. It may look a little bit different on the tablet, but it's more user-friendly on the tablet. So this is the cover page I speak about. This is my menu for students to interact with different pages on my activity. Now, a cool thing about this is that when you do a cover page, it also clearly shows on the activity choice or on the activity list of all of your different activities. They have a clear picture of what they're doing. So for an example, I'm going to go ahead and I need to make sure I'm in the finger aspect of this, the drag aspect, and then these little buttons are what are my links. And you can see that for this activity, I am linking between pages. Now, this is a paid feature, but this is a great reason to sell your district on why this is so beneficial. So I'm going to go ahead and go to, I can read page 3. And here is the activity that it brought me to. Now the directions I have written here, personal preference, or you can also add a caption with your voice telling them what to do. I'm going to go ahead and drag the picture to the matching word. So I'm going to click on my picture, drag it to the matching word, and so forth. Now, once I've completed this activity, say I'm done for the day, the student would click draft, and this will save their work so that they can work on these 5 activities throughout the week. On Fridays, I would expect all 5 activities to be done, and they would click check. So once this student is done, a great idea, which I will do after this video, is to add a back button where I can hyperlink back to the first page. But for right now, I'm going to go to the first page, and now I can go to a different activity that I want to work on. All right, so this says highlight the phonics words and sort into word families. So I'm going to go ahead and click my highlighter. I'm going to highlight those words that I see with the short A sound and so forth. And then my students would use their writing tools and a stylus to go ahead and write those words. All right, when they are done, but they are not done with all activities, just those days' activities, they'll click draft. And that will submit their draft work so that they can keep working on it to do more activities throughout the week. Now, as a teacher, you may be saying, well, I don't want them to submit all of their work on Friday because how do I know if they're understanding the concepts or not? So if you go over to activities, you can click on those specific activities and see the drafts in progress. That way you can intervene if necessary or even give feedback on those activities. So if I go here, I can go through the draft and I can look at the progress being made, which activities are done, which are partially done, if they were done incorrectly, and then I can comment and give feedback throughout. All right, so that is the student standpoint. Again, for this specific activity or menu, I'm using it as a center activity or like a word work packet throughout the entire week. I plan to do the same sort of template for math activities, comprehension and vocab activities. The key with all of this, it's a headache being in this distance learning, virtual learning, blended learning time. But the key for all of this is to make sure you streamline everything. If my students understand that they are going to do the same process every week, just like when you teach centers, they're doing the same process every week or the same directions every week. They know what to expect, but the content or the skills that they're using to do those activities changes. So you're taking out the directions aspect and just kind of getting them into autopilot when it comes to those independent practice activities. Now, you really want to make sure that you are taking the first couple of weeks to really outline the expectations and the procedures for all of these activities to begin with. And then you will see all of that hard work pay off throughout the year. And this also will provide them opportunity to blend back and forth between blended and distance learning if that's what we end up having to face. Okay, so I'm going to hop on over and show you how to do this from a teacher aspect. All right, so I'm going to start from scratch and you can follow along. Now I'm going to show you how to create your buttons for students to hyperlink within your activity to different pages or activities. Now this is a paid version or a paid feature to hyperlink between pages on an activity, but you can still use these tips and tricks if you have the free version when creating hyperlinks to external links. So the first thing I am going to do is you could go to this link feature, but I'm going to say or advise not to, because what I like to do is make my picture have buttons rather than if I go to this link button, you are only going to get the snapshot or a thumbnail of wherever you're linking to. So you're not going to have control over the image, and it can get kind of messy aesthetically and complicate use for students. So I'm going to go to shapes. It really doesn't matter what shape you use. I'm going to click my square, and then I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then again, it does not matter color, anything like that for right now. You are going to click link. And then I know that this is the first activity, which is right here. So that's page 2. So instead of linking to a URL, which for free users, this is how you would do it. You just link directly to URL. I'm going to link to a page, link to page 2. And then just for ease sake, I'm going to duplicate this and drag it over to every button. Sorry, there's noises in the background. It's my daughter trying to mom and work at the same time. Okay. All right. So this first page, I want to link to page 2, but these I want to link to the following pages. So I'm going to go to link, and I'm going to change this one to page 3, and ... I'm going to link and change to page 4. Link and change to page 5, and then link and change to page 6. Okay, now this is the final step in making your buttons aesthetically pleasing and work well. So I'm going to move these over, because when I do this next step, all the students are going to see on their end are these little circles right here. So I don't want them too far off to the side. This is the one problem that I see with the update, is that I'd like them to just be able to click on this button, but really they click on the associated button next to it. So I make sure those are close enough to the buttons I want them to click. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. So I'm going to move that over. Now you may think, oh gosh, this looks wonky, but just wait and see. Okay, now I'm going to click on my first one, and there are 2 steps to finalize this. 1, I'm going to click ... order, send to back. All right, so now my box has disappeared. It's behind my PDF, but I still have my link right there. Now I'm going to go to lock, because we know those little kids can manage to move and resize things, and we don't need this button to move. All right. And again, I'm going to go to order, send to back, lock. Order, send to back, lock. Order, send to back, lock. And finally, I'm going to go to order, send to back, lock. Now they have a menu with active links that's aesthetically easy to follow, especially if they do the same activity every week, but the content on their pages changes as far as their phonics rules. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this alleviates some stress and anxiety going around this whole situation. We're all in this together, and I hope this makes things a little bit easier for you. Go ahead and if you found this useful, I'm working on a video series to delve into more tips and tricks using the new features. So subscribe to my channel, and I'm hoping to have a few more of these videos up in the next couple of weeks. All right, have a great day. If you found this tutorial helpful, please click the red subscribe button and stay tuned for more educational technology tips and tricks.